Okay, let's make a start with this teardown. Now, just before we begin, I'm going to show you on my text pad. Let's bring it across here. So I've got my text pad or text file here, which has things like my headlines, the text I'm going to be using, some colors, the video link, etc. Okay, so they're on the other monitor. If you do see me sort of going back and forth, that's what I'm doing. I'm going over to copy text, bring it back into my page. I have also uploaded images into the image library, so they're the images I'll be using in the page I'm creating. So they're already installed, and pretty much that's it. I can just make a start. So I'm going to go to blank pages, and as before, I'll probably fast forward some bits in this video just so you haven't got to sit and watch me create. I'm just going to call this Shopify teardown, just so you haven't got to watch me create things like typography. So if there are parts of it that fast forward, that's why. Okay, so Shopify teardown, press enter there. And the first thing I'm going to do is going to go into page settings. Color scheme settings. And I'm going to put in my overall background image. Okay, so I'm going down to overall page color options, select file, media library. Here's the image that I'm using. And I'm also going to add in a background color here, so I'm going to go and get that from my text file. And I'm going to change these just to white as well, because we're quite a dark theme. I want to put in some light colors for the hyperlink colors in the footer and the other links. So let's let that load up. Okay, now you'll see how the image has actually repeated itself across the screen. I'm going to be adding some custom CSS into this page. So let me go to page settings, other scripts, custom CSS. Now this is obviously some CSS we've written to obviously style the page better. If you're in the Clubhouse, you're obviously going to get this template anyway. If you're not a member of the Clubhouse, you're going to probably have to copy the CSS on the screen. What I'm doing is styling the background image. That's probably the most technical part of this entire video, is actually just this CSS script. And it's really the main bit is what I'm going to show you in a second. So some of this code here sort of styles it for the wider layouts. But the main thing I'm doing here is with this body background attached fix, what you see there. And this whole section is basically telling the image to be fixed on the page when it scrolls. You'll see that it stays in place. It's also telling it not to repeat itself. And it's also the background size is to cover the entire space inside. So if I just click update, I'm also going to publish the page here, and I'm going to view it just to see how it's looking right now. So you can see there, that's the image itself. It's because I've set it to cover, and it's also fixed. So if I was scrolling right now, the image would stay in place. Okay, so let's go back. So the first thing I'm going to do is add in a row, single one column row. I'm going to be putting in the logo. Next, I want to put in my headline. I go to my text file here, and I want to get my headline. I'm going to set the size. Next, we're going to do the supporting headline. So what I would do here is I would just clone this, open up that, go to my text file, copy my subheading, paste that over there, and then reduce the size. Okay, now let's click save, just to save. I don't have page revisions turned on. Page revisions is obviously a part of OptimizePress where it'll automatically save the page that you're working on, the live editor. I haven't got it turned on at the moment. So I'm just clicking save. One thing I didn't do was the typography settings. So I want to go back into page settings, typography settings. What I'm going to do here is I want to set my default style. So I'm going to use Open Sans. Go through and do that for these. Okay, that's them all in the sets. They're just the default typography that's going to be used through all my headlines and things if I'm using the header 1, header 2, and so on. Okay, so let's go back to, let's get our row color here. Now this row itself, we're going to full width, background, 25. I'm going to give it a bit of padding. So that's what I'm doing here, adding the spacing, the top and bottom. And what I'll do is I'll just flick over to the Shopify site just to keep you, so you can see what I'm doing with the page here. And I'm modeling it off their layout, so you can see they've got the logo at the top, heading, and then the supporting headline. And you can see they've got the 2 bars at the top and bottom, and then they've got that background image across it. So that's the kind of thing we're trying to mimic there. So back to our page. Add in another row. So I'm going to do the video content. They've got the video on the, I'll show you again. They've got the video here on the right hand side, and then they've got the bullets on the left. We're going to switch ours. I'm actually switching ours the other way. I'm going to put the bullets on the right hand side and the video on the left. So for my layout, I want, where are we? 2/3 and 1/3 there. And then here. Okay, so next we're going to put in our bullet points here, so bullet blocks, and I'm going to go with that one. Let's see, I want this little blue tick, and we'll click add new, just add a few of these, so I'm putting in a few bullets. So let's go back to my text file. And then we'll click insert. Now you can see the font is obviously the wrong color here, so I need to change the color. To do that, we go into the advanced options, and down we go, advanced options, choose 18. Okay, and that looks better. Now this overall row itself, if we bring up the Shopify again, you can see what they've done with their site is they've included like a transparent sort of CSS effect, or it could actually be the image might have a filter over it. We're going to apply a transparent CSS effect to get that similar look. So what I'm talking about is how you got the image behind it, and then you've got the faded sort of transparent effect over the top. Obviously that can be done with a filter. We're doing it with CSS. So let's go back to our site. And what I have to do, the CSS is already in my code here. So if I just open it up, it's this piece of code here called transparent, which is the background color is using the RGB color. So all I need to do is go to the row itself and apply that CSS class here into the row CSS class, and click update. You see instantly it's gone and had that blue effect over the top of it. Okay, so that's what I've done there. It's like a transparent overlay on the image using some CSS. Right, so let's carry on. Let's go back. Let's see. They've included some obviously seen in, featured in press. So we're going to go and add images into our own. So what I'm going to do is create another row. I'm going to add a 4 column. Got 4 logos to go in. And because the image is still fixed, I then want to apply the same transparent class style. But we've done something extra here. We've added the hide on mobile feature in the CSS, which we've included into that row as well. Okay, so we just do that. I need to make this a full page. Turning this to full page is taking out this line. You can see this gap between it. That's what that does. So if we take that out, and I'm pretty sure this row, let me just check. Okay, so that joins them rows up there. What I'm doing here is putting in 4 images across there. So what I do here when I'm doing these kind of 4 images, I just simply clone this 4 times. Close that down. I clone this 4 times, and I would just drag this across each one. And then from here, I'm going to go back in and just change the images. Okay, there we go. We've got our 4 images going across the top there. Now the next part we're going to create is the sort of arrow we had. So if I get my other page, so this is obviously the final one we showed you in the initial video. I'm creating this effect here, this little image you can see there. That's what I'm going to be creating. That's just an image we're using, like a GIF image. So I'm going to start creating this bit down with the overlay optimizer. So let's get that out of the way. Okay, so another row in here, single column, set it to full width, background color, and also I actually want to, I'm going to put this padding as 0 because I want it to be pretty small, or no padding, and then I'll add element, again image, select my file. I'm going to choose my GIF image that I've got in here. Look, show you. Down arrow with the glow. Okay, you can see there it's a square image as well. And I'm going to actually set it quite small. I want to set the custom width to be 50. Makes it a bit smaller. There we go. Okay, I'm now going to add another row below this one. So let's take the same color. I could just clone this row and then take out the padding. So there's plenty of options when you want to clone or make new rows. In this case, I'm just adding a new one, and then I'm going to set the color again and the width stuff there. So there's the row. Let's save this and see how it's looking on the front end. My page. So here's that page right from the start where I just put in the background image. So let's refresh. Okay, that's starting to look better. It's taken shape. The image here, we haven't got the little rounded effect on the top, so I need to go back and look at that. And we've got, let's see, bullets are down the sides. That's good. It's all looking, it's taking shape. Let's bring the Shopify back up. So there you go. There's the Shopify page. You can see we're sort of modeling it off that. We're getting closer to it. We're using that same color, separating the border, separating the middle, or that focus point in the middle there. And we're doing the same here with our page as well. So it's looking good. It's taking shape more and more. So let's go back into the page. Next, I want to put in another headline. And then we're going to add in our overlay. We use the button designer. So I'm going to go and get my button colors. And I know a lot of people always ask about styling the buttons. So I'll show you, obviously, I'll show you everything I'm styling here with the colors and things. This is quite a simple button that we're creating. So I'm turning off a lot of the options I already have in here. Things like drop shadow, inner shadow, turning all that off. Text, I'm going to put in my text here. My font is the Open Sans. I'm going to set it to be white, leaving the default size at 32. Styling, so the color, let me go and get my color again. So the border color, I can leave that because I want to take the border off. I actually don't want a border. I mean, obviously you have the option if you wanted to, you could just put in the same border color. Oops, one sec. Just put in the actual color I'm using as that. If you wanted, you could just put that in there as well, you see, because it's the same color anyway. But you know what we've done is just turn the border off there to 0, okay? Take off the shine. Then might just let's look at the height of this. Let's change the width. We want it to be full width in this page. I'm going to reduce the height down about there. Click insert, and there you've got the button in. And next we're going to add in the opt-in form. And we're going here, add the opt-in. I'm going to choose the very last one. And I'll just choose email for that. We go to the content. Copying all this from my document as well, guys. So if you're nipping off the page, that's what I'm doing. Let's go back. The main thing we want to just style here is the button. We want to keep that same blue effect coming through. So we click create custom button. Again, we style it all here. One thing I'm going to do is just add a little bit of shadow on that text. I'm going to add in a slightly darker shadow. It's hard to see, but there is a darker shadow there. Maybe just sort of... There we go. We can see it there more. So that font stands out. Let's click insert. And click update. And now I want to add in the last sort of bit at the bottom, which is going to put in some copyright text. And again, I'm going to add in another row. So let me just jump and grab my text. And for this row, what I will do, I'll just clone it. I can clone the row down. And then all I need to do is delete these two elements. And I'm going to add in my text block. So I'm going to put in the copyright. And then we're going to go back and style that. Just make sure it sits in the center. Advanced options, center. So let's have a look. Let's save. Now let's go back to the page. We'll refresh. Okay, so there we have the page. We've got the headline all in, but the bullets, fix that image. Let's check there's the overlay optimizer, open up with the opt-in form. We've got a heading and we've got our footer in as well. So there you go. Look, I mean, I've gone through and I've built that entire page. I will be doing lots more little tweaking to it, minor little tweaks just with the spacing, trying to line things out, making things sit a bit closer together, or even give them more space across the top here, for example. Let's take a look at this image. Just want to see. Where are we? So what? If I go back, so I'm trying to add in the rounded effect, and what I've done here, I actually forgot to put the rounded little hat on the image. So I'm going to show you that. So let's. I'm going to give this 0 padding top and bottom because I want it to touch the next row completely. I want to add the transparent effect that we had here. So I'm just copying the transparent. So pop that in there. And I'm going to add an image again. Let's go back into my media library. And I want this, I want this image here. This half circle image. Okay. And it will make sense in a minute once I show you it in place. And it's very hard to see it. If I turn off the controls, you can see it there. Look, so it's above. It's giving us that rounded effect. If I save and continue, and go to the page and refresh it. There you have it. We have that nice little half circle applied to make that down arrow stand out there. Okay, so if you are wondering again how I've done that, I'll just show you again here. It's this row itself has 0 padding on it. Okay, so it means the top and bottom of the row are going to be as close to the next row. Okay, so it's got 0 padding on it. This row here again has 0 padding, and it has the same transparency effect as this top video and bullet row. Okay, so it's got the same transparent effect and the same 0 padding. So that means it's going to touch this row below, and that's then how we get that nice little half circle image to look like it's sitting on top of the other row. Okay, so that's kind of how you get that effect, and that will still show on mobile devices as well, or an iPad view as well, because it's a center aligned image and it's set, and the row itself has no padding on, so it's going to sit nicely next to the other row. There you have it. We've got a little bit of spacing to do. Let's just see if I can space out. I want to put a bit more spacing at the top here and close this up here. Okay, now it's looking a bit tidy. You can see I've nipped up that row of the images there, and I've increased the padding width that we had at the top just to make the space a bit more even. So let's open up the Shopify page again. Okay, you can see here, this is what we've modeled it off completely. So we're trying to match that same effective page that they've got going. They've got different, obviously, layout. They've included the login link at the bottom, and they've put that opt-in form. We've used our overlay optimizer to get that same effect. But you can see it's a pretty close match. It's got a nice layout to it. Got the video, and then you've got the bullet points on the right-hand side as well. Yep, so there you have it. That's the page. I've just seen that this logo at the top is actually quite large. I'm going to change that just to make it slightly smaller, because it's taking up. That's a bigger logo still. I thought that was a smaller one. Let me just change. Do here is set this to 175. There we go, just so it sits a bit smaller up there. Save and continue. Refresh that. You know, a much smaller logo, so it doesn't actually overpower that headline too much. But there you have it. So that is the page. Thank you, obviously, for sitting through this video. If you've watched the entire video way through, I hope you've learned something. Obviously, the big takeaways in this landing page are the transparent effect that we put onto that image, and then also adding this little rounded effect over the top of this row to give that half semicircle effect there. So another page we built. Thanks, as always. Thanks for all your comments, your feedback, and lots of questions we had from the first teardown we done. So we've got lots more of these planned. Keep submitting your sites to us, the sites you see, or if you find a landing page or a sales page that you like and you want us to do a teardown on it, then please do let us know. Obviously, you can post in the comments here any questions. We'd love to hear all your feedback and your questions. So we'll see you in the comments below, and we'll get chatting with you soon.